Mentourme.com.
People, what's going on? What's going on? People, what's poppin'? You guys already know who it is. Your boy Bobby from Mentourme.com. We're going to have a great topic of discussion. Shouts out to all the love. Shouts out to everybody who supports the movement, who share their comments, who DMs me every day. Thank you for all the years of supporting the movement, sharing the content, and constantly believing in the movement. Financial literacy is wealth. Wealth is created from us sharing our thoughts and journeys. Today we're going to talk about the reality of life. Schools. A lot of individuals are going back to school. Shouts out to you who graduated high school, who graduated your first level of college, and you're going into that second level, that second angle of college, and just really get that third or second degree, whatever the case may be. Tonight's topic is going to be for you to really understand where's the world at and where is it going, the truth, the untold stories of life that life doesn't like to talk about, that these schools don't want to talk about. The truth is, we're in a world where the schools only want you to know what they believe makes sense to you. But tonight we're going to talk about the reality. I love this song. We're going to start momentarily. Let everybody load up. Even right now, we got 7 billion. Think about this, 7 billion people before we start. 7 billion people in this world. School debt is 9.6 trillion. Really think about that for a moment. Oh, what a life. People, as you guys know, I'm a life coach, investor, entrepreneur, individual teaching you how to be financially free and be debt free. That's the goal of life. A lot of us are bombarded with debt, and debt is not easy to readjust if your mind doesn't readjust. So I thought it's very imperative that we talk about, of course, how to get out of debt and also how to raise capital. A lot of these multi-billion-dollar companies that exist in this world today, they're winning for the simple fact of them having leverage that some of us can't get, no matter if you're black or white sometimes, right? You know, how is companies in this world getting $20 million of debt? When we say debt, we're talking leverage. How is these companies getting $100 million worth of capital to start their ventures? But us, we're fighting to get $20,000. We're fighting to get $50,000 worth of capital. At the end of the day, we got to realize this. Businesses run off of leverage. But what happens when you have a business and you're not able to get the amount of capital that you need to sustain or even start your business or expand your business? Instead of having one location, how do you get to the point where you have 20 locations? You can only do that by, of course, leveraging. The problem in this world is like an untold secret. The world doesn't just tell you how to leverage, how to get true capital. A lot of us, when we go to school, what do they teach us? Finish this class, get this degree. One thing they make sure you are in is debt, school debt, and lots of it. Anywhere from $25,000 to maybe $200,000 worth of school debt. But why is schools not teaching us how to raise capital? A lot of schools build curriculums for everything else except things that make sense to growing long term. Raising capital is so important if you're trying to grow in this world. For entrepreneurs or upcoming entrepreneurs, one thing you will always need is capital. You don't use your money to make money when you're trying to really expand a business. You use other people's money, which is capital, which is leverage. This world doesn't take too much time to really educate us in the school system about capital. What is it? What interest rates make sense? Why is some people going subprime? Why is some people getting VCs, venture capitalists, angel investors? What are these things? A lot of us need to take time, equity owners. Tonight we're going to talk about these things because we need to learn. We need to educate our minds. School is putting a degree in a lot of people's hands. But these degrees are not solving all your problems. These degrees are putting us in debt, keeping us broke. Where a lot of us have a lot of debt and we can't even pay it off, even if we passed away early. School is a business. We got to always remember that. Can you learn from school? Yes, as long as you apply yourself. Is a part of school theory? Yes. Some of these books are made damn near 14 years ago. We're in 2021. Do school teach you self-taught type of education? Like your social factors, how important relationships are in this world. Why is it important to be social in this world? Why is it important to know how to raise capital in this world? The school system doesn't show you that. And a lot of you tonight will learn the importance of raising capital. You got to understand these multi-billion-dollar companies, there's a total of maybe $9.6 trillion worth of leverage. Did you guys see what happened pandemic last year, the moment the world readjusted due to the pandemic? A lot of these companies was already almost going out of business. Multi-bit by theory, of course. Multi-billion-dollar companies. Why? Because they're all leveraged. They're all leveraging other people's dollars. 20 million, 50 million, 100 million. For some of us in this world, we thought we did something. When the government gave us a 20,000, 40,000, 50,000 PPP money. While they're giving the multi-billionaires $1 billion, 100 million, 50 million. For some reason, as I got older, for some reason, we're never taught how to raise capital. Nobody teaches you how to raise $20 million. You go to a bank right now, they teach you one thing. Well, for sure, put your money in this bank. If you need to buy a house, we'll put you in debt for the next 30 years. That's one thing we will teach you. Now you go to that same bank and say, look, I need $250,000 to start a business, to expand my business. How do I do that? For some reason, the knowledge is not there. The knowledge is not there to move you forward, to expand your business. People in this world with YouTube, with Google, and a level of focus, you guys got to understand why is it so important to understand. School is a tool to give you a career interview. But at the end of the day, there's still more things you need to learn in life, such as how do you raise capital if you're going to be an entrepreneur. A lot of us in this world think that we got to use our money to build businesses. You don't. There's a lot of money in this world, but it's like an untold secret. How do you get it? How do you retrieve the millions that other businesses are retrieving? How are these businesses raising $50 million? How is a person that has no business raising $100 million? Why is this not told? Why is this not spoken about? Why are we not talking about the reality of what it takes to really win in this world? Schools, they teach you how to go in debt. The world teach you how to go in car debt. They teach you how to go in house debt. Just sign right here. You're in debt for the next 30 years. What's your house? Car debt, put a down deposit. You're in debt for the next 7 years. Very simple concept. Now they got phone debt. You're in debt for the next 2 to 3 years. But for some reason, the world never talks about how to raise capital. Why is it so important? A lot of us right now, we're struggling not because of who we are. We don't know the world is surrounding us with debt. And a lot of us, we inhale a lot of debt because we don't realize that you got to understand that's not how the wealthy is doing it. The wealthy only goes in debt because why? They want passive income. They want to generate a positive cash flow for some reason. They want to buy maybe a commercial building and have positive cash flow. They only go in debt if the thing is making money, if the asset is making money. That's the only time they go in debt. But for some reason, our world today, as we get older, for some reason, it's so hard. It's so hard to raise $10 million. For some reason, it's easy for some companies and just people in general, somehow, for them to get a $2 billion, for them to get $1 billion. But why is it so difficult for us? How come that untold secret is not ever written anywhere? Where do you find out how to raise capital? Now, some of us may say, well, just get a venture capitalist. Get an individual to invest into your company and take a huge amount of equity in your company. Some may say, well, Bobby, you know what? I've heard about different companies that exist where if your company is making money per month, they'll leverage the amount of, hypothetically, your company's making $5,000 or let's say $20,000 per month. Because that $20,000 per month is coming in, the company will give you a loan based on that $20,000 passive income. But did you guys know there's also people that's waking up in the morning, just starting a business, getting $50 million to start their business? to expand their business? Why is this not taught in schools? Why is reducing debt not taught in schools? But schools are putting us in debt, which is so crazy to me. Imagine you're in debt $25,000 to $250,000 worth of school debt, and nobody taught you how to get out of it. Nobody told you that at the end of the day, the degree that you're getting, that career doesn't even exist anymore. You're going to be working for the rest of your life to pay this school debt, this degree when you walk off that stage. Nobody talks about that. And it's sad because our world has an abundance of opportunities, but this world only talks to you about things they want you to learn. And there are a lot of things that are untold secrets. School debt is something that's so dangerous. Imagine some of us going school debt for $25,000 to $100,000. And the degree we have can't even make us $30,000 a year gross. By the time you take out federal, Social Security, Medicare, you probably really made $12,000 for the year. You ask yourself a question. You're an entrepreneur. You want to start a business. You want to expand your business. Your business is probably doing well. You have 2 locations. You have 3 locations. How do you get your business to a point where you have 10 locations, 30 locations, franchise structure? You need capital. But after a while, for some reason, money center banks such as, of course, let's say Bank of America, Chase, these banks are going to say that you're over leveraged. People, imagine this, okay? You can have a house worth $500,000. You go get a $50,000 credit card. $50,000 credit card. And you try to leverage your home and say, let me get an equity line. 99% of the banks are going to say you're over leveraged. How is that possible? How is this man getting $50 million, $20 million, and he's renting an apartment, don't own anything? Why are we not getting the same treatment? We got to realize in this world today, you got to really take time to see the big picture, people. The cost of living is ridiculous right now. Renting, there's bidding wars. People have school debt that they're never going to pay off. People have car debt that doesn't even make sense. Some people are working 2-3 jobs just to make a car payment. I thought you went to school to get a degree so it could be the tool to change your life. It's all about what you do with that degree. Some of you also realize that some of the degrees that you have is not what you thought it was. It's not making you the money that you thought you wanted to make. Some degrees are putting you in so much debt, you don't even know how to get out of it. In this world today, debt is a killer, especially bad debt. Debt that's not putting money in your pocket. And I thought I'd share this live because I want you guys to understand. The only time you should be going in debt is if something is putting money in your pocket, passive income. Some type of asset, commercial real estate, maybe a business. But here's a problem. How do you raise capital to expand your business without paying these outrageous interest rates, 16%, 17%? I think that's things we should talk about in schools and colleges, high schools also. Interest rates, because this is a problem. Nobody teaches how interest rates work. People are getting 17% interest rates to go get $50,000. That's not even enough to expand your business. While the next man is getting $50 million. Some people are fighting in the world of the pandemic last year to get $30,000 PPP loans, while the next man got $15 million. People, at the end of the day, you got to understand, it's so crazy. And here's what's crazy about this whole PPP thing from last year, right? These companies ended up getting $1 million, $2 million, $5 million, $20 million, $80 million, $100 million. And what's crazy about the whole scenario, some of them decided to still not give any of us a raise at work. Imagine that. Where 60% of as long as 60% was spent on employees, the whole debt was forgiven. So these people played us like a fool. Here it goes again with capital. These companies ended up getting PPP money, paid their payroll, paid you the same amount you always been getting paid, even though in a weird way that money was free money to them, as long as they spent 60% on payroll. And they decided not to give any of you a raise. Now, the table switched. These companies are begging people to come back to work now. They're willing to do whatever it takes. But did you guys see the power of capital? This country has so much money, it was nothing for them to give every business these heavy millions of dollars. But how come the small mom and pop companies couldn't get more than like maybe $20,000, more than $30,000, more than $50,000? I had an individual, she had a business. Her business has 35 employees. The most they gave her for some reason was $60,000, and the business makes $1 million a year. And I said to myself, what a strange coincidence that a lot of people locally in certain areas was only getting a certain amount of money, while other big corporations was getting 50 million, 80 million, 150 million with no problems. And at no point these companies said to you guys, hey, look, let me give you a raise because honestly, your payroll is paid by the government this year. That's the honest truth, because as long as I spend 60% on payroll, I don't have to pay payroll out of my fucking pocket. We didn't give no raises. We didn't give you shit. People, if you see what's happening in this world, one thing I want to bring to the forefront of this video is having you guys understand the power. Lady Gray 55, what's going on? Victor, what's going on? Marianne, what's going on? Sharika, what's going on? No raise. People, how do you raise capital? How do you raise $100 million? How do you raise $50 million? Some of you think it's so far-fetched when the person says that. I'm watching TV every day, CNBC, while trading stocks. Every single day hearing these guys, these entrepreneurs, these successful individuals tell their story, how the government or this company is just giving them 50 billion, 20 billion, 10 billion, 100 million. But you go to your local bank, your Bank of America, your PNC, your Wells Fargo, they won't even give you a credit card with $50,000 on it. Except, well, let me take that back. Bank of America, shuts out the Bank of America. Let me take that back. Bank of America do get some high credit card limits. Shuts out the Bank of America. Let me take that back. But other banks, let's really think about it. I've never met a person that says, I have a Wells Fargo account and I have a credit card with a $100,000 credit limit on it. These banks are not even giving you leverage. All they want to do is take your hardworking dollars, okay? Take your hardworking dollars, put it in the bank at 0 interest, give you nothing, and then go give out loans to individuals like yourself to buy a home and put you in debt for the next 30 years. You want to buy a car? Come get pre-qualified. Put you in debt for the next 7 years. Now you come to that same bank. Look, I want to start a business. I want $50,000. Whoa. I want to start a business. I need $1 million. Whoa. So you willing to take my money at 0 interest? My hardworking dollars, put it in your financial institution. But at no point will you help me or let me leverage capital so I could start an empire. Even if I have a business plan, even if I have proper structure, even if I have everything you need. People, you got to really think about this. Where is it stated on teaching you how to raise? Where is it stated teaching you how to raise $20 million, $5 million, $1 million? Where do you learn how to raise $1 million? Where do you raise $1 million if you want to start? If you even have a business, even 2 locations, you want to expand. How do you get $1 million? How do you get $5 million without a crazy interest rate from some of these outside companies charging you 16, 22% prime? Prime means aggressive interest rates. How do you get that 3% that these multi-billionaires are getting? How do you get that 5% interest rate on $1 million or $5 million like these multi-billionaires, people? People, if you don't open up your mind and really see what's happening, schools is a business. Schools teach you what doesn't work sometimes. Schools teach you tools to get you in that career interview. School will teach you the minimum in order to make it in real life. It's up to you to apply yourself and use the tools that exist like YouTube and Google to start learning how to maximize your full potential. Sharika says, it seems far-fetched, actually Rachel says, it seems far-fetched from a small business perspective, for sure. When you're a small business, sometimes your mind, you don't ever believe, oh my God, is it possible? Is there a possibility that I could get $1 million loan? You don't believe that because you don't hear people around you that have your size or scale the business getting those type of loans. But you ever realize this? There's nowhere that teaches you how do you get a $5 million loan? How do you get a $500,000 loan? What are the steps to reaching that loan? What is a paydex score? What's the value of D&B, Duns & Bradstreet? How does this Duns & Bradstreet thing really work? How does business credit work? Is it a business credit card? Is business credit going through Duns & Bradstreet and building trade lines? How do you build or raise capital? Where is that knowledge? I got 2 businesses. I got 3 businesses. I got 4 locations. How do I get 8? Why is the bank telling me my debt to income ratio is too high? They can't give me any more loans. But for some reason, this guy here, he has 48 locations. Now he's franchising. He's elevating to the next level. People, you got to understand what's happening in this world. You can't just walk in a bank and get $1 million loan. And realistically, as you wisen up, for some of you, that's nothing. You ever wonder, like, how did this person buy a $20 million building? How did this person buy a $50 million building? What bank do I even go to ask that question? Because my bank only wants to make sure, would you like to open up a free checking? That's always the introductory statement. Would you like to open up a free savings? Nowadays, not much is free because by the time, if you don't have a certain amount in your account, there's a $35 fee or a $17 fee. If you overdraft, there's this fee. People, educate yourself. Imagine a lot of us went to school, went to college. You got young kids right now going in high school or leaving high school, going to college. Make sure they're getting degrees in something that makes sense because the debt in life is killing people. Some people are burdened, are buried with debt. And it all goes back to decisions. It all goes back to lack of education. It all goes back to lack of money management. Nobody's teaching you that this degree you have can only make you so much. You have to expand your mind and say, hold on. How do I readjust what this degree could give me to make it make maybe 3 to 4 times that? But hold on. Okay, I started a business. After having my degree, after working for somebody, I'm doing entrepreneurship. I feel great. I have 1 location, but for some reason, banks are not giving me leverage to open up a second location. They're saying my income to debt ratio is too high, but I only have 1 loan. I have everything paid off. How come I can't get $400,000 to start a nice high-end restaurant like this guy in Brickell? How come I can't get $500,000 to start a restaurant like this guy in Parkland? These are high-end areas I'm talking. Or in Los Olas, if you're familiar with the Fort Lauderdale area. People, school is a great tool as long as you learn how to use it. But going to school, you got to educate yourself and apply yourself in the right manner. Because there's a lot of things that this world is not teaching us. We keep forgetting school is a business. Church is a business. There's a lot of things that's businesses. You got to really pay attention to what I'm saying. The truth hurts, but it is what it is. As you guys know, right now, majority of companies that have excellence when it comes to growth, it's because of them having capital. Without capital, it's very difficult for you to expand your business. If you have $100,000 in your bank account, You are not going to spend all $100,000 to open up another location. But where do the world talk about how to take maybe 30,000 and have that 30,000 build you a $500,000 so you could open up that second location? See, in this world, there's now venture capitalists, individuals who are going to invest into your business, but are going to take equity share, meaning they're going to take ownership. Does it make sense all the time? Does it make sense to give a company 30% of your hard work? Really think about this for a moment. Where do you learn how to raise $20 million? Where do you learn how to raise $5 million? Where do you learn how to raise $50 million? I thought I'd share this live because, again, building relationships is not taught in school. Money management is not taught in school. Raising capital is not taught in school. They don't talk about teaching you the different types of interest rates. What is a subprime loan properly? Like, how does this really work? What's the pros and cons? They don't tell you that when you leave college, the debt you owe is due very soon, and you have to make quick decisions on how you're going to deal with that debt. They don't tell you that that debt could haunt you for the rest of your life. They don't tell you that that degree you have is not going to make you more than $50,000 to the day you die. But some may say, Bobby, is that their job? See, the world informs all of us on things. Sometimes that's irrelevant. It's up to you to take time to use the outputs such as Google and YouTube to figure out. People, there's a lot of grants in this world. Some of the things I'm reading about when it comes to raising capital, there's a lot of money in this world, people. I'm telling you, use Google, use YouTube. You could start a business with no money. You could build an empire with a proper business structure. But what I see is it's very gray, and a lot of it is knowing the right people. So for a lot of you that like to stay home and not associate yourself, you're an introvert. You don't like to really get into positions to try to meet people. I get it. In your personal life, it's okay to not be social, right? I guess your personal world. But in the world of business, it's all about building relationships. It's all about knowing the right people. It's all about leveraging the right people who can add value to your company. Because I don't know if you guys realize this by now. These banks only want you to put your money to put you in debt to buy a home for 30 years. That's all they give a fuck about. These banks don't care about nothing else. These banks only want to put you in debt. That's it. They want to take your hardworking dollars at 0 interest and give you a home at 4 to 6 interest rate, 4 to 6% interest rate for the next 30 years. You're in debt. You want to buy a car? Banks will give you money to buy a car. You want to buy a house? Banks will give you money to put you in debt for 30 years. But how come? Okay, I want some money to start a business or expand my business. I want a second location. My business is doing good. It's making $20,000 a month. How come banks are not helping me? How come banks are continuously saying you're over leveraged? Your debt to income ratio is too high. What do you mean? I only have one loan. Well, if we take that plus your home, the home that you gave me, that you put me in debt with, what a coincidence. What a coincidence, the home you put me in debt with and the business that you didn't help me start. I have a high income to debt ratio, huh? Debt to income ratio, sorry. I wonder, at what point of life will we start to get the truth? At what point of life will we start to learn that school is a business and it's putting a lot of us in debt for degrees that will never get us anywhere in life? At what point will we start to learn that relationships is the most important tool in life that you have to build if you're trying to build and grow in life? You have to build good relationships. That whole introvert mindset has to go away if you want to grow in life. You have to be able to be relatable. You have to be able to smile. You have to be able to converse with individuals every single day of your life if you want to see true growth. You have to be able to be persistent, consistent, and be able to have stamina to be able to go through the ups and downs of elevation in life if you want to grow. That's just the honest truth. But one thing this world doesn't do is hand out anything. And when it comes to raising capital, they are not just giving you money. It is very difficult in this world to raise $10 million. It is very difficult in this world for some of us to even raise $1 million. We're having a problem. Some of us are having a problem raising $100,000. And you ask yourself, but Damn, that's kind of crazy. These multi-billion-dollar companies, they're giving them everything. The wealthier are still getting wealthier. What about you? What about us? What about the people who have been working hard, who started something small, and now they're ready to expand it, and they have structure, they're organized, positive cash flow? Where do we go to get $1 million, $2 million, $3 million? Who do we speak to? What links do we click? How come that advertisement is not coming in our mailboxes for some reason? For some reason, you advertise everything else. You advertise how to put your money in the CD and make no money at 2% interest rate, fixed, simple interest, which is the worst thing ever. You advertise how low interest rates are for heat locks. Right? Why? Because we want to make that interest only. We want to enjoy that interest only payment that you're about to, of course, give us. You advertise the low interest rate for us to go in debt for 30 years to buy a home. How come you don't advertise and teaching us how to, of course, raise capital? If we have a business, if we want to start a business, where's the link for that to teach us how to raise capital? How do you raise $10 million, people? How do you raise $50 million? Please tell me. Please tell me. Guys, as you guys know, I'm a life coach and entrepreneur, an educator, an individual teaching you the truth about life. My goal is always here to share the knowledge that I find very interesting in this world as we live every single day. It is not easy to become a multimillionaire in this world. It is not easy to scale your business, meaning expand it, without understanding how to properly leverage. In this world, cash is not king. That is a bullshit statement. Credit is king. With proper credit and a great relationship, you could build a lot of capital. But you got to understand it's not going to be easy. But while growing every day, if you ever start a business or you are an entrepreneur, you want to get to a second location, third location, fourth location, you will see you're going to run into a little problem. Once you get to your second location, there's already going to be a story of your income to debt ratio is too high. No matter how much money you show them you're making, no matter how good your personal credit is, for some reason, if you don't go get a venture capitalist, a person that just wants to invest into your company, probably take equity stake, it is very difficult in this world to raise $5 million, $10 million. As you guys know, also, too, I trade stocks. As you guys know, right now, the stock market is still down. I'm going to take any questions if you guys have questions involving the stock market. A lot of my stock that I'm invested into is I'm going 3 to 5 years out because at this point, the market looks like it could do a heavy pullback. And we're not sure. I'm looking at a lot of different graphs and a lot of different things on the economical side. People, again, we could have a real drop in the stock market. It would be wonderful if the real estate market crashed. I've been speaking about that for about 4 years, telling you guys to get yourself prepared. If I was you, make sure you increase your credit limits. And some of you who understood the value of that last year, how I pulled $100,000 to $200,000 off my credit card and flipped that in the stock market in 2 months and made $400,000. Shouts out to Bank of America. I love the company. They're so funny. At the end of the day, it's imperative that you get yourself prepared for what could happen. People, right now with the Delta variant and many other variables, we're hearing a lot of different perspectives in the world that we call life. Could the real estate market crash and home prices go down is maybe 70%? Yes, there's a possibility. Is interest rates being low causing a problem? Yes, it is. Home prices are ridiculously high. Is there a problem for the simple fact that we have a shortage on a lot of different things in life, which is causing a lot of different issues? Is the cost of living very expensive? Yes, it is. The only thing that's going to keep you strong and stable through this whole situation is you continuously educating your mind and understanding the true value of life, that knowledge is power, and learning how to create some type of stream of income that can make you some money. As you guys know, I'm always focused on the stock market and entrepreneurship because that's what I was raised off of. That's what I understand. That's where I made a lot of my mistakes, and that's what you guys are learning. But in this world today, if you want to elevate to the next level of life, well, the next level is learning how to get to $5 million, $10 million, or even $1 million if you're not there yet, or $500,000. You have to understand the importance of how to raise capital. This is something you should be taking time to do, researching through YouTube, researching through Google, understanding how to build an empire. Because some of you work for an empire, but you're not learning how to build an empire. In this world today, with the cost of living the way it is, I used to say that as long as each individual, if 2 individuals are in a household, at least if each individual is making $100,000, they'll be all right. That has changed. Nowadays, you need about two and a quarter. You need about $250,000 each to really have a middle-class lifestyle in the world that we call life today. Because it is very expensive to be alive in this world. But again, with proper knowledge, and I thought I'd share this live because I want you guys to understand what schools are not teaching you: relationship building, how to be self-motivated, what the real world is when you leave college, that you're in a lot of school debt, how to get out of debt, why you shouldn't finance everything. Schools don't talk about the bad parts of debt. People, these debt ratios are killing us right now. And it's hindering us to the point where we can't expand because the amount of debt we carry: car debt, school debt, house debt. People, when are you going to start winning? But again, the winning comes from readjusting your mindset. But the main topic of discussion for tonight is simple. How do you raise $1 million? How do you raise $500,000? How do you raise $5 million? How come nobody talks about how to raise these type of levels? Do you even believe it's attainable? I know a lot of you, when you hear the word $1 million, oh my God. People, at the end of the day, there's people making $1 million a week, $1 million a month, $1 million a day. You got to start thinking big. And I tell a lot of you guys that. Think big. You're thinking too small. If you have a business, it's time you ask yourself, how do I raise more capital and expand my dream, my passion? How do I one day maybe even franchise it? People are selling us franchises. No, you need to start franchising your own venture. If you know you have a good business and it's structured, why not franchise it? Tomorrow we're going to have a great topic. A lot of people are talking about the OnlyFans. OnlyFans is a funny company. Almost a $6 billion market cap company. OnlyFans has decided to, starting October, OnlyFans no longer wants sexual activities being promoted on their platform all of a sudden. We're going to talk about why and what's happening. And we're going to ask ourselves a real question. Is it fair? Is it fair that this company used us? That's all it was. For a lot of people, that's all it was. That's why I say this in life. When there's an opportunity, I don't care how you make your money. It's all about what you do with it. For a lot of people that's on OnlyFans and you're making your money doing whatever you do, hey, do you. But did you make sure you invest? Because look what this company has decided to do. And now they're in a real gray area. Because here we go, while we're talking about raising capital, some of these multi-billion-dollar companies, they don't want to invest into sex. They don't want to invest into the sex industry because they're looking at their reputation. And also, too, we don't know if OnlyFans wants to go public one day. The problem is, going public, you can't have a publicly traded company like that that's fully promoting sexual activities. It's very difficult to get capital, which is the topic of discussion tonight, having that type of business. But the company's already a $6 billion company. And thanks to all of us who are on the app. Now, all of a sudden, the same people who created the $6 billion company, they want all of you guys off their goddamn app now. And they want you guys to stop doing what made them the money. Because now they reached their cap. So is it true to say that the company used us? Or was it just business? It was never personal. This is your boy Bobby from Mentourme.com. Tomorrow night, we're going to be talking about OnlyFans. Shouts out to everybody that's in the stock market, crypto market. The crypto market is doing pretty good. Again, no matter what market you're in, make sure you do your due diligence, stay strong, and hold long term. As you guys know, I'm in the stock market. I'm a stock market guru, as some people call me the GOAT. But again, a lot of stocks that I'm in, because of the market shifting and been on a downturn since almost March. I'm holding a lot of stocks long term, 3 to 5 years. Again, if your portfolio is down, my portfolio is down, do not sell. Self-discipline is essential. Do not sell. That's why I always say, do not buy these penny stocks, these garbage companies. You buy strong, blue chip, strong, multi-billion-dollar companies that have value. That, of course, guides us in the future. That's why a lot of my money is in EV stocks. That's why a lot of my money is in artificial intelligence. That's why a lot of my money is in certain, marijuana stocks, And I only took the best of the best. People, you got to understand what you're doing. Right now, this market has a lot of great opportunity because, of course, the low share prices. But if you cannot hold for 3 years, 5 years, you are going to hurt yourself because the market is so volatile right now. It's up one day, down 10 days. Up one day, down 4 days. And people is continuously tanking. On top of that, we got a whole China re-regulation going on, which is killing every Chinese stock and hindering every other company because some U.S. companies are investing into these Chinese companies. So that's another issue. And then on top of that, we have the whole Delta variant. On top of that, we got inflation, where cost of products is to the roof. Right now, a tomato is ridiculously priced. People, what do? You create more streams of income. You invest into these markets and buy at these low prices and average down and hold. You do your due diligence. Do not follow the hype of social media on any stock or crypto. You buy you invest into things that make sense. I know a lot of you are just waiting and hoping that what's this crypto? Dogecoin just goes to $50 tomorrow. That is highly unlikable. At the end of the day, people, I hope that is not your game plan for retirement. I hope that you understand the importance of raising capital, the importance of coming together collectively to be able to grow in this world that we call life. Every person who has become super successful, they have worked collectively. You cannot make it in this world by yourself. You cannot make it in this world being shy. You cannot make it in this world, live in this world of having this negative attitude towards growth. People, you can make it. You got to change your mindset. You got to really believe that making it exists. You could become a multi-millionaire. You could become a multi-billionaire. You could make it in this world, but you got to understand there's a lot of untold secrets. And tomorrow, we're going to learn why did OnlyFans decide to pretty much kick off all their users. Pretty much, they played smart. You built a platform, made $6 billion, created a $6 billion platform. Now you got all those people subscribed to your platform. And now it's time to leverage them and sell the asset. That's all it is. Dirty game, but somebody has to play it. This is Bull Bobby from Mentourme.com. You guys have a great night. Appreciate everybody that's on Facebook, everybody that's on IG. Make sure you share this live and let other people learn and get educated too, because they deserve it. Mentourme.com, people. I'll see you guys tomorrow on my live tomorrow night. We're talking about OnlyFans, where people have been doing what they've been doing, all sexual activities and all that good stuff. And some people have been having positive videos. Now it's time to readjust that whole market. Share the content. Love you guys. Enjoy your sleep. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Mentourme.com.